You are now tuned in to the excellence of execution, welcoming Paul, DF, and your co-host, Marley.
We are back with a different crew. It's feeling good. What are you thinking?
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Paul. How are you? Very exciting episode today.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone's probably wondering, and those that are listening, we have two guests here today with me and Dan. Fransisco Lazarte.
How are you?
Who's a newer agent with us. How long have you been here now?
I've been here since June of 2023.
Okay.
Just a couple
so
months.
So a minute, almost a year.
Yep.
And you've been asking to come on this podcast, and we said you had to hit a certain volume.
Even before I joined the brokerage.
Right. So now, yeah, that helped you when you joined. But you've been saying you want to ask questions to two very successful individuals in the industry, and not only in the industry, but in life. And one of them was Mussie. Welcome, Mussie, on the pod.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Also known for those that are watching, Kobe Bryant twin. And those that aren't watching, check it out on YouTube. So Fransisco's like, I have all these questions I want to ask them. And instead of us doing what we've done in the past, Dan, where we read questions and say from our guests, we brought him in because our co-host wasn't able to be here. So you're not really a co-host. We can't give you that title.
That's fine.
You are. Like you're here today. That's fine. How nervous are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
No, I'm perfect.
Yeah?
I'm perfect.
Are
perfect.
you?
Yeah, I'm
perfect,
ready
like
to go.
Ed Sheeran perfect? Or?
No, like I'm ready to roll.
Yeah?
I'm ready to ask these questions. I'm excited for this.
So we started with Moose. Who's your favorite basketball player?
Kobe Bryant.
Why is that?
It's not.
You got to hold the mic up.
It's not because I look like him.
Are you sure?
You do look like him.
You do look like him.
You have a book of him.
Mamba mentality.
Exactly. I love Kobe because of the mentality. I feel like he's underappreciated, you know?
You think so?
I think so. I think he's in my top 3.
Top 3 of all time?
Top 3, not 3, though.
Top 3, not 3.
Okay.
But
who else is in that top 3?
I'll probably give it to Mike.
Okay.
I'll put Kobe number 2.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm giving it to LeBron.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot of people's top 3 list.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
three?
like those 3 names?
No. ESPN puts Kobe like 11th.
Yeah,
they do.
it's true.
They disrespect Kobe for
Very
sure.
few people put Kobe top 3, actually. Because now you get into the Bird, Magic type of stuff. Are you guys, maybe they're like Bird and Magic, these two.
Who?
Them two.
Yeah, yeah.
Who are you? Like Ginobili?
No. I don't think I'm at Ginobili. I think he had a different rise, and I think I would be
A different rise?
a different rise. I think I would be more like a Derrick Rose, but before all the injuries. Like I'm really.
So you're
strive to
planning
be
on
like
winning
that.
Rookie of the Year next year?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
You got to come with a bang with a
Is
Derrick
he
Rose.
eligible next
that.
year for Rookie of the Year?
yeah, he's in his first full year next.
Got it. Okay.
This year's his
rooting
first
for you,
full
man.
year.
Rooting
Thank
for
you.
This year's his first full year.
Yeah.
This
Like he's in 2024.
2024.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, man.
So you got to do about 47 mil this year.
Yeah. 40 mil.
Okay.
40 or 47?
47 mil.
Well, the
47 mil.
winner, Bojang, shout out Bojang, who just won it, did
Shout out.
47.
Yeah, but he did it in like 6 months.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, he's a stud.
He is.
He's a complete stud.
He is. But that's okay. So this basketball talk is a good lead up. Mamba mentality. Obviously, that could be maybe the title of the episode.
Yeah.
Having that mentality. Both of you have done absolutely incredible things in your career, not only just volume, but multiple things when it talks about the relationships, building the team, all those good things. So I'm going to, let's dive right into it. Because today I'm going to be jumping more in the journey and the destination. And there's what's more important. Sometimes people say the journey is more important than the destination, but both of you are in a pretty good destination right now, but I'm sure you want more. So, Fran, dive into your questions.
Before I even start with the questions, I just want to say, before I even joined the brokerage, I used to listen to this podcast, and I knew everybody.
I'm not laughing at you.
I knew everybody.
I'm not. I just love you.
I love you too. Thank you. I knew both of you guys. I knew Moose. I knew Mickey, Miguel, and I would learn
more
from
than two
them.
people. You said both you guys.
No,
then
both
you fired off 9 names.
and then the fact that now I can join the office with you guys, work with you guys every day, and learn firsthand is incredible.
Graveyard.
Yeah,
You're the
graveyard.
graveyard shift. You have great flow.
Thank you. But yeah, just want to say it's amazing. No, let's go into it.
You look like a no frills Michael Hammond.
Oh, wow. I think we should throw a picture of Michael Hammond
when we
on
do
the
this,
thing
I'll
right
send you a
now.
picture.
I
It's gonna
really
get so many
think
views.
I look
Here we
like
go.
a younger Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
Let's just end the episode.
I'll give it to you.
So we got Kobe Bryant, Leonardo DiCaprio,
I'm really excited.
Jonah Hill.
I'm really excited because you're like taking ownership of being the host, and I love it.
I know, but you're not the host.
No,
Let's
you
know
can be
that.
the host today.
I think I am the host.
You're like the guy reading off the monitor, like behind the glass.
I think I am the host, but we'll go to the questions right
All
away.
right, let's do it. Let's
I
dive
want-
into
let's
it.
do
I
it.
want the audience to hear everything.
Okay.
First question is just consistency. So both of you have been in this role for a very long time, this career for a very long time. The numbers that you've done, the people that you've helped is incredible. How do you keep it consistent every single day? Do you manifest? Do you dream of your goals? I just want to understand, how do you keep it going every single day? Tie those shoes and come to work.
Are you asking myself or Mussie?
Both.
Mussie, go ahead, fire
Let's
it
start
off.
with Moose. Moose, and congrats. 7 years, Clear Trust. Congrats on that. It's a big award.
Thank you, guys. So that's a great question, and I do think consistency is probably like one of the most important things to consider and have as a mortgage broker, because I feel like it's not an industry or a career that you can just see success overnight. And I realized that, like, if you want to do the numbers that you want to do, you gotta be consistent. You gotta put in the work. You gotta really understand that every day is gonna be a challenge in trying to like get to where we want to get to. And I think it really starts with like your daily habits, making sure you're breaking down a plan, like what are your long-term and short-term goals are, and then kind of mapping it out. So I feel like, you know, being consistent requires, like, you know, you may need some support, you may need some motivation along the way, and whatever it is that keeps you motivated to stay consistent is something that you got to really dive into. So for me, I feel like sometimes I gotta watch, like, you know, inspirational videos, take motivation from people that are in places that maybe, you know, we want to be in the future, like guys like Kobe we were talking about earlier, could be Floyd Mayweather, you know, guys like that are really just obsessive with what they do, and try to apply that to your work, man. It's like, it's not going to be easy, and I think that, you know, consistency is probably going to be like the most important thing to consider in trying to be, you know, get from level 0 to, you know, wherever it is that you want to get to.
Yeah.
Did you always, and if you don't mind me jumping in, because I love
Go
the
ahead.
blow up of Mussie, did you always apply that to your business? Like, when did you become obsessed? You used a key term, becoming obsessive with your craft, like a Floyd Mayweather, like a Kobe. When did you become, like, because day one when I met you, were you like that?
I feel like for me, like in 2017, 18, I was working on a full-time job. I wasn't even I started like really full-time mortgage broker in 2019. And I think that was the first step in being obsessive, is just fully committing to what you're doing. It's like, you can't just expect to be successful and do the numbers you want to do by just being like, you know, a part-time mortgage agent.
Yeah. Tipping your toes in.
Tipping your toes in. You got to jump in the pool, bro. Get wet. Like, you know, get in there. Like, just try to make something out of this. And I think that's where it starts, is just like being fully committed to what you do. And for me, I think that was around 2019. Like when I quit my job, I realized, like, you know, this is not where I want to be. And I think I gotta take the steps to kind of like get this thing going. You know, let's try to make it happen. And I think in our industry, like, being a mortgage broker and, like, you know, working in a corporate job is completely different, because I've seen guys actually make a ton of money, be very successful, have some of the things, be able to help their family out. And I felt like, you know, what I was doing before wasn't able to like get me there. It's not happening, you know. not a TD.
For sure. No, it's totally fair.
Yeah.
I think it's not easy, but both of you make it look easy. So I think that's really important. Dan, can you tell us about you?
Yeah, Dan. Come on, man.
When you said it ain't easy, it reminded me of it ain't easy being cheesy.
It ain't easy being breezy.
No, it's not easy, but you guys make it look easy.
That's very complimentary. What a cutie pie this kid is.
I can't really say anything more than what Mussie's already spoken about. I think that obsession is important for folks. A big thing for me is process. I'm very process driven, and I'm very strategy driven. So not only do I understand where I want to go, I dream big. I don't put boundaries around myself that don't exist. I always make sure that every single day I know exactly where I'm going and how I'm going to get there. And it's helped me immensely. And my motivator, so if you break it down into a few buckets, you start with, obsession is important. My motivator is very important, and those two attributes together allow the consistency. I don't let myself take the foot off the gas because I have those two other things that are pushing me every single day. And you need to understand what your motivators are. And I'm very clear on what my motivators are, and I continue to strive to achieve those attributes in my life.
Would you say that when he came in, he was a motivator for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I feel like when Dan came in, along with some of the other guys in the office that are big producers, it lit a fire under my ass. Like, really, like, what are you gonna do to get there, and what are these guys doing to get there? Because I feel like they were definitely ahead of me when I met them. So I kind of had to take what I was able to see from them and apply it to my work, and things like hiring staff and being fully committed, starting your day from, maybe 8 a.m., 7 a.m. at times, and being there for 12 hours straight and really trying to figure out how you're going to get your business going. Like, you got to see it sometimes. And, I think Fransisco's in a good position because you get to see a lot of guys doing this every day. Like, people really live this life and are committed to it. And I think just like I did, hopefully you could, apply some of these things to seeing some of the guys in the office that really put in the work.
Yeah, just being in this office, you really feed off everybody's energy. You see how people interact in the day. You see how people work. If you feel like you're tired one day or you're not motivated, you can just look around the corner and you can just see somebody drilling call after call, going at it every single day, emotionless, but getting it done. And that tells you got to step up your game, because you have to keep busting your balls until you want to go where you want to be, where you want to go. So I think it's really important to be around successful people. I think the next question was going to be just believing in yourself and the power behind that. So I know it's very easy to say, yes, you believe in yourself. When someone meets you, yes, I believe in yourself. But what does that truly mean when you dissect it into a day-to-day process of if people reject it, if even if you put in your 110% and a deal still comes down, and you have to find an alternative way of putting it in, how do you keep yourself motivated and not get burnt out and bring that same energy every day? Daniel.
Excellent questions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He's been manifesting these for 4 months.
Amazing.
Which is really good. Yeah.
Listen, bro, the amount of respect that you have for us is tenfold sent back to you. So
thank you.
So thank you for all the kind words, and honestly, thank you for taking the time to manifest these questions, and hopefully the listeners get some value out of them.
I think so too.
For me, something recent that has really helped me is understanding two things. Number one, the mind is very strong. Number two, our initial instinct when things go sideways is to panic, stress, overreact, and not be conducive to finding a solution. I've made a conscious effort to understand that things in my control will be handled, but things outside of my control cannot be handled. Allowing that mentality to bleed into my business has allowed me to deal with every single fire with a cool, calm, collected head, and has allowed me to do more business and build better relationships with the folks that I'm doing business with. The old school mentality or the old school way where, like, I don't know about mortgage brokers, but stock brokers would scream and swear and yell. That doesn't work. And unfortunately, it's a natural instinct for us to feel that way. But if you take a step back and you think about keeping cool, calm, and collected during a high stress situation, you will always find the solution faster. A motivating factor, which is what helps me with everything that I do, is the reason why I stand here in front of you today. I'm not really, like, Mussie was saying, there's guys that got to start work at 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning. I don't think I've worked less than a 12-hour day in the last, how long have I been doing mortgages? 7 years? Like, that's normal for me, and I love it. So it's not really like I'm coming in and clocking out. Like, I love sitting in my office, doing what I got to do, talking to people, solving problems, helping people. That's like my thing, So that's a motivating factor for one. And then why I started in this business is to help my family, just like Mussie said, and just try to give them a better life than what they had previously. And that continues to push me. And no matter what happens here, no matter how stressful it is, and no matter how many problems I'm dealt with, I try to continue to remember two things. Is it in my control, or is it outside of my control? If it's in my control, it's going to get dealt with. And then also understanding that my mind is more powerful than any other force in this world, and that I can handle anything that comes my way.
And you always bring that up to me. You always tell me how sharp your mind is and how sharp my mind has to be. You consistently tell me if there's any problem, let's say I'm not feeling well, you always tell me you have to stay sharp. Your brain is the strongest part of your body. Get over it. Move on. You consistently show that, and both of you show it that it's not an overnight success. I think the feelings that you guys show how you work, it's not overnight. You put in the 1% work every single day to get better and to get where you are.
Yeah, I don't think that, and I can't speak for you, Moose. I can only speak for myself. Like, you were talking about the success. Like, I haven't reached anywhere near where I'm going or want to be. And a lot of people, take a step back and look at themselves, personally, professionally, and they say, why is nothing different in my life? Like, why am I not successful to my to my degree, or why am I not losing any weight, or why am I not doing anything? Because you're doing the same things every single day. If you're not going to change, how can you see any results? And I always tell everybody in the office, my goal every single day is to lay a brick, one brick. And through that, like the last 7 years, I lay a brick every single day, and you can see the castle starting to form. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that ties exactly to like your daily habits. And I think for me, like in terms of believing in myself, I feel like it's a lot easier to believe in yourself when you feel like you're in the right environment and in the right space. So I don't doubt what I do and where I'm at. And I remember like yesterday I was looking through like an Instagram post, and like it was like from some like IG girl, and she basically like mentioned like a bottle, like it was like an example, like a bottle of Perrier is worth like $2 in the grocery store. It's worth like $6 at the airport. It's worth like $18 in the club. And I feel like your environment is going to dictate your value, and just putting yourself in the right environment is going to really push you to like, bring out the best out of you. And I feel like if you feel you're in the right space and you believe in yourself, like, it's endless where you can take it. And I think, that's really what I've been trying to do, is be in the right space and believing in myself.
So you're a Perrier in the club. You're a Perrier in the club.
I don't know if I'm in the club yet, but I don't know if I'm in the club.
You're at least at the airport.
I'm trying to get, maybe I'm in the airport, but like I don't know about that. I don't know about the club.
Moose, every time I see him come in, he locks the door and he does not leave his office. He stays there all day. I don't know what time he eats or when he uses washroom, but he just sits in that table and he's just dialing. He's just going. So I love that. Did you have something to bring in?
No. Keep on going.
Okay. Let's go to the third question.
Are you still as nervous? Or you feeling better?
No, he's in his bag right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm perfect. Yeah.
All right,
I had a drink right before this, so I'm good. I want to speak about the importance of your team. Bringing in somebody that has the same dreams and thoughts as you guys have, and making sure that this brand or this business that you have, they carry it forward like it's their own. How did you build that dynamic over the years? How did you know this person was the right fit, this one wasn't? And how did you guys build that bond? It's so important, and I'm amazed every single day that when I see your team, it's not even staff, it's your team. Everybody's the same importance, whether the underwriter, the compliance, they have, or the person that goes out and does the talking. Everybody has an equal part to the team. And if one falls off, that whole team falls off. How did you find these people, and how did you build that dynamic? I just want to know. Moose.
Well, I feel like with building a team, it's a process. There's always going to be like ups and downs. I feel like I was learning as I went. Like, I don't think that like I know how to manage a team perfectly when I just started. I feel like I'm more of a salesperson, and it's a skill that I had to develop over time. So if I told you that I know how to manage a team perfectly, or I'm a great manager, I wouldn't be honest with you, because I feel like I had to develop those skills. But yeah, like you everybody, it's a process. So like from step 0 to step whatever it is, maybe like 12, 15 steps in a mortgage transaction, you gotta make sure that the person on your team's strengths are aligned with whatever tasks that they're doing. So for me, I don't feel like I'm an administrative person at all, and I have challenges with admin. Like it's not for me. Like I could barely like work a photocopy machine. Like I don't know how to like be an administrative person. And there's people that are really good at that, and putting them in the position of their strengths and kind of aligning it with every step in the process, I think is a great start. And yeah, like admin, and there's underwriters. Like I think when you're underwriting, I feel like that's more like my strength, is just like underwriting and relationship management. And that's what I feel more comfortable doing, and that's what I want to focus on, you know.
You have 2 amazing ladies. How did you know when to bring them onto your team? At what point did you feel like I need to bring someone else so I can keep elevating my business?
I realized that when I found that it was taking me way too long to get an approval and keep my customers happy. And you don't want to take on too many tasks by yourself if you're putting too much on your plate. Like you might lose business like that, because you want to make sure, like I have a turnaround time that I want to have the deal underwritten and submitted within 24 hours of getting all the documents. And if I was doing that alone, it would probably take me like 5 days, 4 days with the volume and production coming in at a certain level. So you'll know when you need help. And like for me, it's like I think for every like 50 million, you should probably have an assistant. Would you agree?
1.5 or 2.50?
5-0.
No, I'm at 2.5. 25 million.
Every 25 million?
Yeah. And as a broker, for sure, in my opinion, for sure.
Dan, your team.
Yes, Francesco.
You're doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you. I
You
consider.
didn't even correct me. I said your name incorrectly, and you didn't even correct me.
No, I think it's the right. You can say it however you like.
Did they answer? I know you want
No, I love.
But
Are
did he
you
answer
even
your
listening to me?
I did.
Oh, okay.
You're trying to. No, he's in the zone.
Yeah, I
you're
can
doing a
see.
great job. Just breathe.
No.
Let
But
those
what I want
shoulders
to ask Dan was, I consider his team, like everybody in his team, a friend to me. They're all the best guys to me.
Got a friend.
They're all like studs. Every single one of them are studs. I want to ask, how did you build your dynamic? Like, where did it start? Who was hired first of what volume amount?
That's a tough question to answer. Max was hired at 100 and something million, but he replaced a different underwriter, and then Vito was hired at like over 150 million.
The evolution of the team is not what you see now.
Yeah. So I have a very special group.
You do.
And I'm very aware of that. My development of the group was to start by them buying into what my vision was. And with that buy-in, we can conquer the world. But the buy-in took a little bit of time because everybody needs to get on the same page and in sync to understand what we're trying to achieve as a group. And you said something very important previously, that everybody has an equal share. There's no hierarchical sort of breakdown, specifically in my group. Everybody participates in the profits and everybody participates in the failures. If one of the group members, including myself, lets the team down, we've let each other down. And that's the culture that I've built internally. And I started by building a culture before I started demanding things from them. You see how hard everybody's working, and I'm in the trenches with them doing that work. Now, I want to be able to be working on the business instead of in the business, which is what I'm working towards now. And it's just, steps in evolution. But also letting go is not that easy for a guy like myself, and having the group buy into the vision and allowing me to trust them that the work is going to get done with the same love and compassion that I would do is the most important thing to me. And we support each other, and we are there for each other, both personally and professionally. And really, the most important thing, and I've said it like 14 times already, is everybody's got to buy into the same vision. Is that okay? Well, how was that answer?
I think that was an amazing answer.
Okay, cool.
Both of you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Paul, did you have some?
You're having the best time?
I'm having a great time.
He's perfect.
Yeah, he's doing really good. So, I think just to overlay, the biggest challenge of folks bringing in people is they want to punch in, punch out. So maybe Musa, I'll have you take this on, because Dan, you just spoke about your team a little bit. Musa, I think your team is really, they look at themselves as one unit as well, right? And so how have you been able to get them all to buy into the vision, or not just worry about punching in, punching out, like being able to understand the urgency of whatever the priorities are of the team for that day?
It's a good question. And I think for myself, I do try to go over like what my objectives and goals are for the year, but I also want to know what their personal objectives and goals are. So everybody has different motivations, and you're gonna realize that when you develop your own team. And some people have a priority of like, trying to make as much money as possible. Some people want to be able to have the freedom of like not being so invested in work and maybe be having the free time in the evenings and weekends. I think for me, it was like I kind of wanted to take a step back and understand what their personal objectives are and what they want to take out of their lives and their careers. And then as for me, I'm sharing my visions and goals as well in terms of what I want to do. And we kind of reach like a kind of a common ground and like how we can help each other out. So every year I'll ask like my staff, like how much money do you want to make this year? What's your objectives? And like, I'm going to help you get there, but you also got to push yourself to get there. So if, for example, like, if they haven't, a target number that they want to hit, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to do this, but I think to cover this ground, I need you to do this. And I think I'm going to help you get there. And, whether it is coaching them, trying to help them develop their own business, whatever it is that you got to do to kind of push them to kind of get to where they want to get to, I think is very important. And like their goals are also your goals, and it's all we're all family at the end of the day, right? So that's kind of what strategy I've been trying to apply.
It's great growth from when we first met you to now. A lot of great growth, right? You said you were a salesperson. You really come around as a leader. Just that answer in itself is very, very impressive.
Yeah, that was really good. I want to just really quickly, I want to ask, in your team, does everybody do the same role in the sense that anybody can bring in a deal, anybody can underwrite the deal, anybody compliance, or is everybody has a set role? What's the dynamic? They
have a set role right now, but I feel they've done all different roles at different times, so they can still cover each other if somebody's like, I don't know, sick or on vacation. I know that I can rely on them to like both to underwrite to some extent, both to be able to do administrative tasks. So it is kind of interchangeable, but I try to put them where their strengths are.
Very nice. I just want to ask, like moving forward, even as well, again, you guys have so much success, and you even say you want to have more success, you want to keep growing, and you guys are both at such a young age. What are the goals for this year specifically? What is the target number that you're looking to do for this year? And even if that question is a little too small, what is the goal for the next 5 years? And we can say, like, do you project that far as well, Dan?
You're talking like volume?
Volume. I think we had this talk in the graveyard.
For sure, we had this talk in the graveyard. You're bringing it out to to the folks of the podcast, which is very exciting. Yeah, so
A little off script here.
That's okay. That's okay.
Good.
So for this year, I'd like to do 650 widgets, so 650 mortgages. That's around 300 million in funded volume. Currently, we are going to need more capacity or bandwidth in order to do that. But the 5-year plan is to do $1 billion inside of the Finkelberg Group alone.
That's amazing. Moose?
As for I got different goals. So volume goals. My goal right now, just between my team, is to do 10 million in volume monthly and project growth year by year. And I think the most important thing for me is to make sure that I'm growing every year. That's like a priority for me right now, is to make sure that our numbers are going up and I'm kind of expanding our team. So as of right now, I would say it's about a monthly goal of 10 million in terms of numbers and volume.
How were those?
I think those were great answers. I think that's what
Do you believe in us?
I 100% believe in you. I think that's what the people want to hear as well.
Those are incredible numbers.
Those are incredible numbers.
Yeah.
It's not easy to achieve either. It's not easy, but you guys, again, like I said, you guys make it look easy. And this is why we're here today, asking you guys both questions.
Both Mussie and I mean, Mussie's gonna be upset that I'm gonna say this, but both Mussie and I have no hair, so maybe we don't make it look so easy.
Well, yeah, and I think you've both continued to progress year over year, both volume, growth, maybe not in hair, but in volume.
Certainly not in hair.
In volume. As well as in your team, as well as your leadership capacity, as well as what you just do for the entire brokerage and the broker community, and just as individuals. So you guys have been fantastic. And Mussie, you hitting 100 this year. Dan, you doing 300 should not be a challenge at all. Hopefully we start picking things up in the summer, but those are good. I know he wanted to ask a bad habit or something that you guys had to switch, which helped elevate you. So maybe something earlier on. Mussie, maybe it was you starting at 12 instead of earlier.
Oh, he still starts at 12.
I remember when I used to go in, I wouldn't see him till lunchtime.
Oh yeah, easily.
You know, and he was only focused on B business, which that's still a majority. But and I'm not trying to give you an answer, but maybe there was something that switched. And we'll start with you, and Dan, you can kind of stew in that one because maybe.
Well, I know exactly what mine is.
Yeah. Okay, you start
big
then.
Time.
Go.
Yeah, and it's actually from one of your former MMS that implemented this, or he said it to the team, but it really stuck with me back in 2017. He said that if you don't action a task immediately, it will never get done. And my problem was procrastination, not because I was lazy, but there was just so much happening. And I was alone in the beginning, and I was doing 50, 60 million alone. And it was just so hard for me to juggle everything. And, if I got an actionable email, for example, and didn't action it immediately, it would just sit there for like 5-6 days, just like Mussie was saying. So from that day, I do not procrastinate. If a task needs to get done, it gets done immediately. It has changed my life.
That's a good one.
Changed my life.
That's a good one. Moose, how about you? Bad habit?
My bad habit, I touched on it earlier, was like my organizational skills were a problem for me. So there's ways of like helping yourself get organized. So I use like different systems and platforms that like help me like put everything in one place so that I kind of know where everything is at. And I use a system called Mondays where I kind of put all of our tasks, everything that we want to do, all in one platform, and there's like notes in there as to like what it is that we need to complete for each file. And having like a morning, every morning, and just kind of like going over our tasks. So for me, it's organization. So like just kind of having a system in place where every day we're gonna know exactly what we need to do. We know where exactly everything is, and it's kind of like we built a process, and I think following that process and sticking with it is what's going to help you stay organized. And that's what I've been trying to apply to my business.
Do what you do best.
Write a check for the rest, baby.
That's right.
No, technology is important, and I think that technology is evolving in the mortgage brokering space. I don't know what I was trying to say there.
It's evolving.
The mortgage industry.
Yeah.
It's evolving, and it's very important. I find that a lot of brokers are still on spreadsheets or pen and paper, and when you got a team, it's hard to say to somebody do this, and then it's missed. So definitely tons of evolution in that space.
Yeah, you were really bogged down with admin. That really held you. That really held you.
Your compliance was backdated for a year.
Yeah, it could still be better, but it's come a long way. Come a long way.
It was bad, and you were probably 6 to 8 months too late on hiring someone, but you ended up getting there. 2022, I think, is when we started building the team, right? Something like that. So,
Yeah, I remember in the earlier podcast as well, you guys were speaking about this certain CRM that you really wanted to elevate and use that for your business. And I remember you saying, I need to add this technology to help me go on to the next level. So
I think you're our biggest fan. That's why we brought you on, which I love.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Having a biggest fan in like a group of 27 listeners.
I'm surprised you're not wearing your EOV t-shirt today. Kind of weird.
I brought the one that says love.
Yeah, it does. I keep looking at that.
Yeah, so
that's very nice. You look great.
Thank you. I tried.
Did you bring us empanadas?
No, I didn't make some today, actually. I thought we were going to his uncle's restaurant today.
Shout out Master Roberto. Go ahead.
It's because I was listening to the podcast this morning. That's why. So I just remembered that he said
He's so
uncle.
Prepared.
So,
I love that.
Yeah, I think the last question was just, I think you guys touched already based a little bit on it, the maturity over the years and the sacrifices that you've made to put yourself here. Was there, besides what you like you said, procrastination, also admin. Was there anything else that you had to reflect on your personal life as well to tell you, if I want to keep going at this business, is there something I need to sacrifice, or just the stories of how you build up? Like an example, like Kobe, he would always say he had to dedicate his whole life to the sport. And he told his family, he's like, you know what? This is number one, and to bring you guys we all have to be, I need to dedicate all my time. If I train 3 times a day, twice a day, I'm not sure. Even David Goggins as well, he says, I train so I can be the man that you want me to be for the family as well. Is there something similar for both of you that you had to internally realize and sacrifice and put you where you are today at a mature young man that has so much business coming? Moose.
100%. I think for myself, there's personal sacrifices and then there's also like business sacrifices. But I feel like for me, the personal sacrifices were a lot more. And just like, I don't know, before I was got into mortgage lending, I had a salary, I had my own apartment, like I could live like a decent life, maybe not the best life. But when I got into mortgage lending, I realized that it's going to be a process and I got to rely on bringing in business in order to make a living. So I moved back to my mom's house and I had to make that sacrifice, even though it wasn't ideal for me, like being 26 years old and living, there's nothing wrong with living with your parents, but there's nothing wrong. I don't
you bet on yourself. You bet on yourself.
I'm not leaving. So if they're listening, I'm not leaving.
But it's a sacrifice, and I definitely had to do that, and take a step back to take maybe 3-4 steps forward. And that's just one example of a sacrifice that I've personally made that I felt took a lot out of me. My mom lives in a 1-bedroom apartment, so I had to sleep in the living room and stuff like that, which is something that you don't want to have to do, but you kind of take that to make you work even harder every day. I don't even want to go back home. I wanted to work because I feel like I don't want to go back home. Like I'm gonna be sleeping in the living room chilling with my mom all day, so I'll be like,
that sounds like a dream.
You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna
it's so funny. We talk about this all the time.
Like
everyone looks at where people are now. They don't look at the grind, right? Whether it's with you, with Dan, with me, Fransisco, you're grinding right now. It's like look at where they are right now in the spot. But not many people are moving back, sleeping on the couch to go fully commission, right? The challenge with today, even in recruiting, is it's just this is happening in my life, or I gotta wait, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. You gotta jump right in, like you did that. Shout out to Carlo. Carlo moved at a time. I moved fully commissioned too, but I remember his wife was expecting her second, which is the biggest, deterrent, which everyone's got their family stuff, but, I can't move right now. I need the money coming in. His wife was pregnant second, jumped, left the bank, came, already had a first, and you just bet on yourself, right? It's a great story. And to where you are now, people can come and see the Mussie of today, but not a lot of people are moving back in with that, right? And
sacrifices.
You got to make.
That's a huge sacrifice. Yeah.
Dan's cooking something.
I'm
waiting for him to say he's married to the game.
Oh, I'm married to the game.
That's a sacrifice.
I'm married to the game. So I love my work, man. Everybody around me knows that.
And the work loves you.
I hope so. We got a great relationship, the work and I. You know what I'm saying? But your question was
sacrifices you made.
Sacrifices I made.
Even on the personal level.
More so on the personal, because you talked about work.
Yes.
If any, maybe not.
I think that something that triggered me in the beginning of your question was, how did you mature over time? I started in this business really young, man. I was 20 years old, and I think I've come an incredibly long way from a maturity capacity.
I second that.
Thank you. I think that you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar, which is something that took me a little bit of time to learn, because you have to understand that I'm fighting for clients, with banks and whomever to try to get the best deals, the best structures to ensure that they're happy. But on that pursuit, you don't want to be burning bridges with the folks that you're doing business with consistently, right? I think that's a maturity level understanding that people need to go through in order to get there. I think that that's something that has really helped elevate my business. I think that all the close people around me know that I'm married to the game. and you know, it's been daunting, you know, with previous relationships, current relationships, and ultimately, like, I have no, there's no option. Like, don't tell me I'm not going to work on a Saturday or a Friday or a Tuesday at 3:00. Like, I'm going. You know what I'm saying? That's my priority. And my priority is to make sure that the people around me are taken care of. And I know how to work and I know how to earn. And I'm going to continue to do that because it makes me happy and it fulfills me.
I love that. That's a mic drop there. I have one question for all three of you. And
did you know about this?
I love it. I'll end with you.
No.
So I was watching some Instagram today as well. Soccer coach went into the change room and asked
Bobby Rules. You were watching?
No, I don't know who that is. What's more important?
Show he's watching.
What's more important, the journey or the destination?
That's an easy one.
Mussie?
If anybody says the wrong thing,
there's no right or wrong.
Vetoing this episode.
No, we're not. Mussie, for you, what's more important, the journey or the destination?
I would have to say the journey. Just because you get so much out of the journey. And sometimes when you get to the destination, it's not even like, it's just like you feel like, yeah, like it is what it is. But like when you reflect on where you started to where you're at, I think that's ultimately the journey, and it's just so much more you get out of it. So it would be a no-brainer for me.
Trust the process?
Trust the process. You know, get through the days, the habits, tough nights, early mornings, whatever it is. Like those
you
are.
Don't have early mornings.
I don't have early mornings. But
let's set that straight.
I respect you for that.
I got late nights though.
Yeah,
I got late nights. So that's what I make up for.
Even though he's been falling asleep during the late games in the NBA. But
yeah. I can't do late nights.
DF?
I think Mussie hit the nail on the head. First of all, I don't think that I will ever reach a destination personally. I can't speak for anybody else.
The destination keeps changing.
Right, 100%. It keeps evolving. It keeps getting better and brighter and more of what you almost like dream about for me. And for me, when I was younger and talk about immaturity, all I wanted was the destination. And my mom sat me down one day and she looked at me and she said, Dan, you're living so fast. Like, you need to relax. You need to enjoy the process and enjoy the journey and look at the things around you and look at what you're building and the people that are building around you. Just take a second to be blessed and to just, you know, take in all the glory. And since that day, my man, and Paul and Moose, the journey is the only thing that matters to me, and I'm going through it slowly and methodically with a plan, with a process, with a strategy, and I'm just having a good old time with the people around me that are joining me on this journey.
Yeah, both incredible answers. Fransisco?
I think the journey is the most important part, and I reflected on this yesterday when I was speaking to my friends as well, because we're all reflecting on how tough maybe the situation is right now if we speak about the economy or people, how they may be losing their jobs or anything like that. And we just have to reflect on where we are right now, how we came to this point, and just enjoy the journey. Because if we, let's say we're older, when we turn 70, 80, 90, if we skip through life too quickly, we're going to regret what we couldn't have done, or we couldn't regret smelling the roses, like you said it.
I love that.
Smelling the roses.
Smelling the roses. Or the cheese pizza, thin, crispy.
Just roses. But I think the journey is so important, and like I tell every day I wake up and I'm thankful that I'm here where I am, but I have to keep going and I have to keep grinding. And even if the day was difficult yesterday or today, you know that tomorrow's going to be better with the right attitude. And I try to tell it with everybody around me is keep consistent, keep that journey going, and you'll get where you want to be. So, yeah.
Well, the really nice thing is that we have each other, right? And, you know, when one of us goes through a bad day, one of us is there to help and kind of brighten that mood. And, you know, we've all experienced different things, and we can maybe help and assist in that capacity to say, look, maybe try this route to help solve that problem, whether it's professional or personal. And, you know, the culture in this company is just absolutely incredible. Everybody's sharing and wanting people to do well, and it's just elevated all of our businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like when Paul asked you, you know, did we come and motivate you? I would say that my maturity kind of growth spurt happened right after joining Clear Trust and understanding kind of my place and how I helped the pioneers, that was a hectagon winners in your businesses, and how you guys have helped me back, and how folks like Fransisco come in and are hungry. And I always tell Paul, we need to bring in people that haven't lost sight of the hunger. You know what I'm saying? And people that have been in the business, writing a ton of business, lose that sight to get complacent. We can't be losing complacent, because there's guys like this guy that are joining the business every single day trying to eat our lunch. And we got to stay sharp.
You have to enjoy the day that's coming up, the next week. I look forward every single Monday to start work. I'm like, I want to work. I want to get there. Even if I have to bust my balls, I know I want to get where I want to be. And that's why I keep showing up.
Twice. Yeah. You're going to say it one more time?
I bust my balls every single day to do what I do, to get better.
Well,
come live your dreams out at Clear Trust.
To me, I think reaching the destination while going on the journey together, like truly the team we build has been incredible. And there's I think everyone in this building, in the company, would say that what we get to achieve together is truly special. And it's true, like people could feel it when they come in. But on that note, you did a good job.
Yeah, excellent job, man. Well
Thank
done.
you guys.
We appreciate you.
Yeah,
Moose, do you have any questions for Fran?
Not really, but like I was just like, I don't want to get into it too much. We can talk about it later, but I always wanted to know a little bit more about like what personal sacrifices you're making as well, like right now, to try to get to the next level. But just to throw a question out there for you, because you've been asking us so many questions.
Yeah, I like that one actually.
Friends feels like a guest. It's a guest question.
Is he not a guest?
Yeah, he is.
I think every day I would try to reflect, and just like an onion that you take out layers from your personality. I always try to reflect and see how am I trying to get better every single day. And
no, but what are sacrifices that you've made?
I think my attitude, the way that I approach life, how
that's not a sacrifice.
You're talking
like
methodics.
we're talking like you can't hang out with your lady on Tuesdays and Thursdays anymore because you're at the office.
I think I made that. I think I made that sacrifice as soon as I came in. I told her, listen.
So that's a sacrifice. Or perhaps you can't be whatever Paul says. You're making empanadas or whatever. On Sundays anymore because you got to be out there, with COIs and things. So what kind of sacrifices?
I think you made financial sacrifices too,
100%,
right? You've been in the office. You jumped.
Absolutely. I was just gonna say that. I see you in the office every day. I know that you're like very consistent, and you've been sacrificing a lot of your time.
He invests a lot in his business too, which
right?
A lot of people don't. Oh, I don't have the money. You invest.
I think it's because I just I see the rewards. I see what can come up if I invest in myself. I think maybe a sacrifice would just be not able to spend time with the people that I love to be with every single day, because I want them to understand I'm here for a purpose. I'm not here wasting my time. Sometimes I don't leave the office until I get at least one new lead. And that means I might stay here until 8 p.m., 9 p.m. It doesn't matter. I think I sacrifice spending time with my dogs. With my friends and catching up with people that I haven't been able to catch up with. But I just hope that they understand that I'm doing this for a purpose.
I hope your dogs understand.
I hope they do too.
No, I like your vision board. I have the same thing.
You gave it to me.
I gave you the board. You gave yourself the contents. Exactly.
And you gave me the ideas to what to write there and how to put it and just manifest it.
Manifestation. Are you journaling?
I take notes every night of just a reflection of my day.
That's called journaling.
Gratitude. He does gratitude.
That's journaling.
Yep. And then I pray every morning of what I'm looking forward to and what I want.
That's great.
Hanalsh, can't wait to have you back here doing over 100 schmil.
Thank you. 100 schmil.
Thank you. Thanks, Moose.